In religiology, the old evolutionist development, animism, totemism, polytheism, monotheism no longer applies. It has never been clearly defined where Slavic religion fits in the evolutionist scheme. It was only clear that it does not fit the notions of the Greek and Roman pantheon. Already in 1944, Ivan Grafenauer, in his discussion of the old Slavic supreme being, relied on William Schmidt's 1930 research on ancient cultural monotheism. I shall show that the theory of a dynamic, plural, and multigender structure of the divine opens up wide interpretative possibilities. We shall follow the process of division and integration according to the mythical story, as well as transformations during the seasons. At the beginning, one multi-gender being divided, described in a mythical story in a partner pair of a man and a woman. Then further division in 3 persons, in 3 creatures, one woman with 2 husbands, half a year with one, half a year with the other. And they all connected together, integrated as triglav, but with the number of 3. And further on, this woman disintegrates in 2 wives and 2 husbands. That's the number 4, and this is Svetovit. I use the names which preserved in folk tradition of southwestern Slovenia till the 21st century. So all of Svetovit and Triglav, numbers 4 and 3, make 7, and that's the number of Dybok, which is integrated of all these parts. And we have also done numerological union. 4 times 3 times 7 is 84. Please remember this number, because 4 is for Svetovit, 3 is for Triglav, and 7 for Dybok, and this supreme integration is 84. Now I shall go to the mythical story. The mythical story could be reconstructed on the ground of Slavic folk tradition from the South Slav, West Slavs, Eastern Slavs. And this is the structure of this story. This is the story of what happens in the seasons of the year. Well, it doesn't matter where, this is the circle, but I shall start in the summer when it rules the well-being, where act male and female characters who are in the summer half of the year united in constant sexual intercourse, which gives life, energy, and fertility to everything. And they produce the trinity of life energy, which is the integration of the forces of the earth, water, and fire. In the autumn, comes to the collapse of the union, the male character grows old and loses his sexual power. The woman consequently transforms into an evil being, cripples the man, castrates him, takes his weapon, swallows him, closes him in its cavity. And in the winter, so the trinity forces are divided, and the fire is at the female creature. And with the acquired weapon, now infertile female character rules during winter. The man is apparently dead. He's sleeping and renewates. And that in the spring, he can rejuvenate it, leave the woman's cavity, gets his weapon back, beats elderly woman, forces her into sex, and consequently returns her the youth and fertility. So the Trinity of the life power now is reconstructed, and then the whole story can go further on. So in the southwestern part of Slovenia, survived in folk tradition, the tradition of the old faith. I do not like to use the humiliative term paganism. It's a pejorative word of the Christians to the old religion, and the natives use the word our old religion, our old faith, and therefore I'm speaking about the old faith. And they survived till the 20th century as a parallel society with their leaders, with their priests, with the judges, with the courts, with the police. And naturally also with their tradition. So I share everything what I'm going now to tell you is the part of this folk tradition. So I must say also the, let's say, ethnography is also still very important source for the Old Slavic religion. Of course, we may discuss some changes also took part in these forms which survived till today. But now let's see what is in this tradition. So first about, and the most long, is the tradition about the god Triglav. This is our god. As the name suggests, it has 3 heads. Right is Kres, it's a bonfire. It protects the sky. It sends lightning to the earth if people have done bad things to nature. The left head is Vilesh. This is a nickname for a horned one. And he has a snake skin. That means he's a horned snake. And that means he's a dragon. It protects sows and domestic animals underground. He punishes people with an earthquake if they do not right the animals and the earth. The higher middle head is a woman, the goddess who protected or harmed nature. In the spring and summer, the women called her Jiva, and she marries Kres. When there is a full moon in August, she turns into Mora, who marries Vilesh in winter and autumn. Jiva makes nature green and alive. That's her name. She does good. The second one does bad things to the nature. That's her name, Mora. That's the same, the Morana, Marzana. They didn't like her. They hated her. Then is the tradition about Svetovit. Svetovit was old god who saw everything and the whole world. The oldest form of his sign was a circle with 4 fields, each with a dot. The 4 fields are supposed to represent the 4 cardinal directions, the 4 periods of life, the 4 seasons, and the 4 dots represent the components of the world: earth, fire, water, and air. And then there was still existed the prayer to God Daibok. Oh, Daibok, give us warmth, give us goodies with it. Give the herds green grass so that there will be milk and wool. Give us colorful flowers so that there will be honey and mad. Give us rain in the fields so that there will be flour from wheat. Give us turnips and carrots so we can live well. Give walnuts for sweet putica. This is a kind of cake for weddings and celebrations. Give us fruit on the trees, O giver of the sun in the sky. His emanation is the sun. The number 7 unites 2 old gods who have a total of 7 heads. And now, what is here also in the written sources, medieval written sources about the Summus Deus Creator. So first is the failed attempt of the Spanish Bishop Bernard to Christianize the old faith citizens of Volin in Pomerania. They asked Bernard, dressed as a beggar, how can we believe you to be the messenger of the supreme God? For he is glorious and full of all riches. And then the second, a story about a Slavic priest from Volgast who played a miraculous apparition of a Slavic god to turn his believers away from Christianity. I'm the one who clothes the fields with grass and the forests with leaves. In my power are the fruits of the fields and trees, the young of cattle, and everything that serves people for any pleasure. Then Procopi. Here it's important that Alexander Roma proposes the reconstruction because he argues that this very noun sentence is a little bit corrupted. So he proposes the reconstructions. Astrapes, eponymon, krateaion, apanton. According to him, it should be read, they believe in one God who is named after lightning, and they believe that he's the creator and the only master of everything. This is usually connected with the name Perun. And here I must propose the solving of the riddle who is Perun. Perun is not the name of one god. Perun is the name of the function. That's the function of this god, of this creature who in the given moment masters the lightning or thunderbolt. That's the fire. And we have seen in the mythical story that the fire changes its position. So in the winter, the Perun is the female character, and in the summer, the Perun is the male character. And I shall end with this old Russian text of Vdunovenie ducha v človeka, which talks about the creation of body and spirit. The author tries to eradicate the belief in Rod, who sits in the sky and throws lump of clay from which children are born. At this point, the concluding statement of the writer, the creator of everything is God and not Rod. That is important for us, so he speaks about the God creator. And the longest text of Helmut, of course. So many gods are also carved with 2, 3, or more heads because they are integrated of more gods. But they, Slavs, do not conceal that this is important because it shows that there were a kind of a discussion with this old faith people. Do not conceal that among the diverse appearances of deities to whom fields, forests, sorrow, and joy are assigned, there is one God in the sky who rules over the others, that this mighty one cares only for celestial affairs. And those who fulfill the assigned services come from his blood, and each one is so much more excellent the closer he is to that God of gods. Now, I shall move to archaeology. Of course, I should start with the idol of Zbruch. It has 4 sides, and we have 3 levels: the celestial level, the underground level, and the level of the living. So the upper level, there are 4 persons, 2 women and 2 men. First woman with very small, unfertile breasts and the ring of fire. That's the winter creature, female creature. Then the summer one with the big breast, she's fertile and with the horn of abundance. And then 2 men, one very potential with his sword and the horse, and the second one without it. And this is the word of the living who are dancing in the circle. So with this ritual dance to bring the fertile, the Trinity life energy to the word, from the word of gods to the word of the people. And they are in order the same as the 4 persons in the gods word. So 2 women, infertile, fertile with the child, she's giving the birth, and the man very probably here with the erected penis. And then in the underground we have in principle 1 creature with 3 heads, which are 2 different men and 1 woman designed with her vagina. So this is, of course, number 3. This is Triglav, 4, Svetovid, and all united under the same head. It's number 7 of Dybok. Now we shall go to numerology. So I'm not going to explain the completely mythological landscape of Krakow, but just to show you the 4 mounts of Vanda, Esterka, female creatures, and 2 of Krak, let's say dead Krak and live Krak. And then it belongs to it also the 3. These are the mounts of Svetovid, and also the sides, 3 sides of Triglav, Wojciech, Wawel, and Michał. And what is here important is that the distance before these 2 mounts of Krak are 3 times 27 Charles feet. There are also known as Benedictine feet or Drusus feet. 3 such feet is almost exactly 1 meter. And this is the unit also full of the symbolism, but I have no time here to explain this in details, but it is important here that this measurement unit is here 84 times. So we have again the number 84, and we have these numbers also in Ebo. The Old Faith Priest in 1828 sent 84 soldiers to kill Bishop Otto of Bamberg near Szczecin when he was converting to Christianity. This ambush was unsuccessful, but there is this number 84. And this number means the supreme power of all holy Old Faith Slavic forces which were sent against the Holy Otto. So thank you very much. Yeah, and also very archaeological in the nearest sense. There are the signs on the bottoms of the pots, where this is the graphical sign of Dybok, connected 4 and 3. That's are in Gars in Lower Austria on these pots. This is on the tombstones, Velebit. These are the tombstones of the souls, not of the bodies, but of the souls from the 19th century. The same sign. And then Pohansko pot, location of Chelach, the same sign. And here I shall end in Kratka. That's a village on Moravska Vysočina, where I found the biggest Dybok till I have seen till today. Thank you. That's brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We are going to have discussion after each paper. We will have around 10 minutes for each paper. So if you have some questions regarding the first presentation, please do ask right now.
Well, okay. Well, just to start discussion, because my question is, of course, very sexist and just a bit joking. You know that this idol of Zbruch is one of our treasures of Slavic mythology, because on this sculpture, some people try to question the authenticity. What is a rubbish? Because it's enough to go to Kamieniec Podolski in Podolia to the museum. I had never been there, but my friend Michał was there, and there is big collection of quite similar idols. Looking, you surely know that, but there is no reason to question that. But you trying to question the masculinity of our idols. So to start discussion, I want to say something to defend this. Well, I'm really impressed with this idea for this lower character represented, these three heads. And in fact, I had never was searching for vagina in this figure. I'm not a erotomaniac. And I have to add that this idol, from archaeological point of view, seems to be mostly touched by and get some losses on basic side, because it had some more stone down. It seems to be cut a little bit on this side, but the gesture of legs, that speaks for your idea that it could be partly female. Okay, but then those four people creating this dancing, okay, two are obviously female, two are obviously masculine, but the interpretation that this most bigger idols, true idols, not people worshiping, as this dancing part of representation, two are female, two sides are female, two are male, should eventually correspond to those people behind. But what I can't see, I'm of course erotomaniac, is the breast. The breast is not properly represented, as for my taste, I'm sorry. And what's more, there was another interpretation. Again, erotomaniac, very much. It is that all this figure reminds on phallus, of course, in its shape. And even some archaeologists from Krakow, end of the 19th century, I was reading this text as a very young boy, and I was so stupid that I didn't make a note of that, said that he discovered that it must be phallus by touching it with hands. So a phallus 2 meters, more than 2 meters high. And of course, we are on the end of the 19th century. He made, quite correct, I suppose, quite correctly, some analogies to lingam stones. That's, well, to start discussion.
So Leszek, you are quite complimentary to that what I have told. So I agree with everything you said. Because this phallus form, phallus is after the folk tradition, or this life energy, better to say, the most touchable, tangible kind of life energy is a sexual energy, and it is concentrated in phallus, of course. And in southwestern Slovenia, there exists still a number of cave sanctuaries with, let's say, stalagmites or stalagmites, yeah, which produce the life and sexual energy, and the infertile women goes there and touches them and so on. So this Zbruch idol could be also, yes, such source of the life energy. Why not?
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions?
Yeah. Andrej, you have spoke about this mythical story, this very generally story about the two principles, male, female, and the union of them and so on. And I would like to ask, in which connection it is with this, let's say, basic myth, which was defined by Ivanov and Toporov. It is some comparable hypothesis, or it is different in your view?
Let's say that I developed further on their idea. They didn't notice that they're speaking about. They were able to define the conflict between two male creatures, and there stood somewhere this female creature. But they thought that there was only one conflict, but there are two conflicts, one in the spring and one in the autumn. And therefore, they couldn't develop the right story, the right development of the story. In the moment I saw that there were two conflicts, then was in a moment everything solved. So in the spring conflict, of course, there are only two creatures, male and female. There's only one pair going through the whole circle of the year's seasons. And in the spring, the man fights the woman. So that's the story you could see in Hollywood film with Richard Burton and Elizabeth Taylor. Yeah? There's the famed help me with English word, Kročena trmoglavka, the famed shrew.
I have no clue, I'm sorry.
That's the story of William Shakespeare. So how you can make, yes, thank you. That's in the spring, but in the autumn, there of course this unhappily woman whose man is at that moment already unpotential, unable to make sex. He turns to the evil being and kills his man, takes his phallus away, and this phallus is in the religion then shown as an axe, for instance, mostly as an axe, or could be also a spear, it could be a sword. In any case, it is a weapon. So we have two conflicts, not only one. That was the mistake of this old concept.
Okay, yeah.
So I have one question and one rather clarification. So the question is, this complex myth that you presented with these seasons, it's collected, or is because I don't know much about it. It's collected in some recent folklore, or is it taken from some medieval source?
It is...
That's a sorry question, and the other is clarification. So you think this is some kind of background myth that was common for all Slavs? This is the common heritage, or is it rather located in some specific area?
The reconstruction of the myth is very detailed described here, but the ground for it is the folk tradition of all the Slavic regions. But here I must stress, well, for the first, the Slavic tradition is maybe the most archaic tradition of all of the Indo-Europeans. And that's therefore while at the moment, as the Slavs in the beginning of the early Middle Ages began to spread, they lived in a form, in the way of life of the early Neolithicum. We must forget that they knew the iron, but their agriculture, their huts, their pottery, they were so, not primitive, simple as at the beginning of the Neolithicum, and therefore was also their religion at that stage. We can find the same elements not only at in the roots of the Indo-European religion, but also it's worldwide spread. I could show you some at the North American Indians. I think that let's say the idea of that, what was at the Slavs much later named as Triglav, could be seen in the cave Chauvet in France 15,000 years ago, where we have the other part of the female and the bull before the sexual intercourse, and they have altogether 3 heads, and the second creature, old creature of Felice, often called, let's say, lion or panther, behind. So 3 creatures, so I must say, I'm sorry, there is also should be the 4th book, but it's not here. It's in detail described. Yes, this is the book from the year 2014. In the past year, there came out the refreshed, renewed, better made version, which is available in Slovenian over internet as PDF, and there you may see that the roots of all of this are simply human, and they goes very far in the Paleolithicum.